what is your take on holding leaders accountable? Because this is not only an issue in politics, and in fact, I think the Republicans are, kind of pushing that thing. As long as you're president, you can do whatever the hell you want. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same in corporations.
Yeah.
People who cost governments, countries, even shareholders millions of dollars often have severance packages and are never held accountable. How do you feel about that? Does that create a fair playing ground for leaders?
No. And, corporate governance should be taking responsibility on that, but so many times they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sort of falls back on the responsibility of government to try to do that. But how do you do that when you can't clean out your own house? Yeah, there has to be a level of accountability that comes back. And that's true, again, goes back to the voters. It's true for everybody. We got to get back to having accountability for actions. Cannot be an excuse anymore. We've got to stop with the excuses. We got to stop with the finger pointing. Not everything is every El Salvadoran's fault that came across the border. We've got to get away.
But that's the easiest explanation.
Of course, it's the easy out. Exactly. Find the weakest among us to blame our problems on, and that's what we see over and over again. If you kind of watch the hearings where they drag in these corporate leaders that paid themselves big bucks, and there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. There's never the buck stops here kind of line. And I really got very personally angry in post 2008, the economic crisis, when the federal government bailed out so many of these large companies, including the industry. And what did they went and gave these massive bonuses to their leadership. What in the world? What in the world? Or the
story, for example, that the pharmaceutical industry got taxpayer money in Europe and in the United States for the research for COVID solution, and they earned so much money with that, but we that footed the bill, the costs, don't get a return on investment. We don't get a payback.
Don't get a return on our investment. Yeah. And that kind of goes back to the whole. So yeah, where was the return on our investment after 2008? We got to see this in the post-Cold War world when the American public said, we want a return on our investment. We want our peace dividend. We need to be saying now, we want a return on our investment when we bail out these companies. Yeah. And how we get there, I don't know. It all comes back to leaders. Leaders have got to just say, I screwed it up. I didn't mean to do it, but I did it, and I'm going to learn from it and do better next time.